Hello friends, welcome once again. I am Ramakant Bandekar from Devgad College. We have seen the first part of the lesson. On to the summit, we reach the top. Now let us see the second part of it. In the first part, we have seen how Tenzing and Hillary stepped the first human foot on Mount Everest. Now we see the related things while and after climbing the Everest. Here we are going to see the following points uh, in these slides. Controversy versus time spirit. Pact to avoid controversy of number. First thought. The offerings to God as Buddhist. Planting flags. Moment of pride. Remembering his friend, great friend Lambert. Pure theist. Description of Mount Everest, the roof of the world. Descent from the summit, thank to God. Happy end, joy of drinking kerosene smell tea. See, now here is second slide. Let me read the stack first, controversy versus time spirit. I have been asked many times, who was first? When we were within reach of the summit, I did not think of who was going to be first. I am sure that Hillary was not thinking that. Climbing takes all your attention. You have many more important worries. What does it matter whether I reach the top first or Hillary? Our main thought was that both of us reach the top. We had to. One could not uh, do it alone. If there had been a difference of 1,000 feet between us, then one could make the claim that he was first. But even then, only the man behind him could confirm the distance between two of them. Now, let us come to the points. Who was the first, Edmund Hillary or Sherpa Tenzing? But both of them believe in team spirit. See the second paragraph. See, what does it matter whether I reach the top first or Hillary? Our main thought was that both of us reached the top. We had to, one could not do it alone. See, both of them believe in team spirit. या ठिकाणी एक वाद लोकांनी निर्माण केला होता की एव्हरेस्ट पर्वत शिखरावर कोणाचे पहिले पाऊल पडले, शेर्पा तेनसिंग यांचे की एडमंड हिलरी यांचे, पहिले कोण? पण या दोघांनाही याबाबत कोणताही विचार आला नाही त्यांच्या मनामध्ये. त्या दोघांनी अशा प्रकारचा विचार केला नाही. त्यांच्या मनात फक्त हे होतं की बाबा पहिलं मानवी पाऊल पडलं पाहिजे आणि एक टीम स्पिरिट असतं, ते टीम स्पिरिट इथं दिसून येतं त्या दोघांच्या मध्ये. सो it is team spirit which defeated the controversy. Here is the third slide. Let me read the first the text first. The pact to avoid controversy of number. When we reached Kathmandu, we discovered that a controversy had arisen. We talked it over, Hillary, Colonel Hunt and I. We agreed that all the talk was childish. So we made a pact and each of us signed it in the office of the Prime Minister of Nepal. Each one signed his own statement. I have a copy of Hillary's statement which I carry in my pocket. It reads Kathmandu, June 22nd, 1953. On May 29th, Tenzing Sherpa and I left our high camp on Mount Everest for our attempt on the summit. As we climbed upwards to the south summit, first one and then the other would take a turn at leading. We crossed over the south summit and moved along the summit ridge. We reached the summit almost together. We embraced each other, overjoyed at our success. Then I took photograph of Tenzing holding aloft the flags of Great Britain, Nepal, the United States, and India. Signed E.P. Hillary. This is sorry. There is another paper like this in English signed by me. Thus, we will not take part in any controversy. As the statement says, Hillary and I embraced when we reached the top. We did as well as our bulky equipments would let us. I remember saying to him, we have done it, but we could not hear. We had our oxygen mask on. Come to the points. We reached first, who reached first to the top of the world? The pact was made with Hillary, uh, Colonel John Hunt, and Tenzing at the office of the Prime Minister of Nepal at Kathmandu with their signature on July 22, 1953. See here. Here the statement of Edmund Hillary is given. It is signed by Hillary. Here we come to know how team spirit was beyond anything between Tenzing and Hillary. It overcame the controversy. Here the solution was ready to tackle the controversy. A pact was made with the leader of the expedition, Colonel John Hunt. Then second man, Edmund Hillary, that is the mountaineer, and Sherpa Tenzing at the office of the Prime Minister of Nepal at Kathmandu with their signature on June 22nd, 1953. Here is the statement signed by Hillary. इथे पहा इथे वाद निर्माण झाला, लोकांनी निर्माण केला. या दोघांचा यामध्ये कुठल्याही प्रकारचा सहभाग नव्हता, पण तोडगा काढला गेला. या मोहिमेचे नेते जे होते कर्नल हंट यांनी हिलरी आणि तेनझिंग यांना बोलावून घेऊन एक करार केला. सदर करार दिनांक 22 जून 1953 ला नेपाळची राजधानी काठमांडू येथे माननीय पंतप्रधान नेपाळचे पंतप्रधान यांच्या कार्यालयात झाला आणि त्यावर त्या तिघांनी सह्या केल्या आणि या कराराच्या प्रती त्या तिघांना देण्यात आल्या. या स्लाइड मध्ये हिलरी यांच्या सहीचा करार देण्यात आलेला आहे. पहा first thought. Here is the fourth slide. Let me read the text first. First thought. My first thought on reaching the top was a sense of gratitude to God that after having failed 6 times, He had blessed me with fulfillment of this desire I had held so long. Let me come to the point. On reaching the top, a sense of gratitude to God. After having failed 6 times, God has blessed him with fulfillment of this desire. It was a dream come true for Sherpa Tenzing. एव्हरेस्ट पर्वत शिखरावर पोहोचल्यानंतर सर्वप्रथम लेखकाने परमेश्वराचे आभार मानले. 6 वेळा प्रयत्न केल्यानंतर देवाने त्यांना हे यश दिले होते आणि म्हणून तेनझिंग यांना सर्वप्रथम देवाची आठवण होते. Offerings to God as Buddhist. Slide number 5. Let me read the text first. I placed on the summit the offerings to God that I carried with me. This is in accord with my religion. Both my wife and I are Buddhist. I could not kneel because of my clothes and equipment, but I offered a silent prayer in my heart. The offerings were biscuits, candy, and a little blue pencil. My youngest daughter Nima had given me the pencil before I left home. She asked me to put it on the top of the mountain as her offering. Baga, the offerings to God, biscuit, candy, and a little pencil. इथं ह्या वेब चार्ट मध्ये आपल्याला दिसून येतं की तेनझिंग याने कोणत्या वस्तू देवाला अर्पण केल्या. ऍक्च्युली ते धर्माने बौद्ध असल्यामुळे त्या धर्मातील प्रथेप्रमाणे त्यांनी या वस्तू परमेश्वराला अर्पण केल्या. पण इथे एक उल्लेख करावासा वाटतो की तो त्या निळ्या पेन्सिलचा. इथं आहे पहा, अ लिटल ब्लू पेन्सिल. ही पेन्सिल त्यांची लाडकी मुलगी नीमा, माय यंगेस्ट डॉटर नीमा, तिने दिली होती आणि तिने पेन्सिल, ती निळी पेन्सिल देऊन, छोटी पेन्सिल होती ते, घरातून निघण्यापूर्वी शेर्पा तेनझिंगना ती पेन्सिल तिने दिली आणि तिने सांगितलं की ही माझी इच्छा आहे की ही माझी पेन्सिल तुम्ही तिथे ठेवा, म्हणजे कुठे, जगाच्या सर्वोच्च पर्वत शिखरावर, माउंट एव्हरेस्टवर. आता इथं आपल्याला या एका वाक्यातच, हा जो काय पॅराग्राफ आहे इथं, वडील आणि मुलगी यांच्या मध्ये जे काय घट्ट भावबंध होते त्याची ओळख होते. तिच्यासाठी त्याने ती पेन्सिल ठेवली. नेक्स्ट slide. It was ordinary blue pencil, not even a long one, but it was one of her prized possessions. As I put it down, I pointed it out to Hillary. He gave me a big smile, showing that he understood. Then I got out the flags, which I had on pieces of strings, uh, about 4 feet long. I fastened one end to my ice axe, and Hillary took pictures as I held it up. As I had to bring my ice axe down with me, I buried one end of the strings in the ice on the top and the other in snow and the slope down below. When we left, they were laying flat against the summit. I was very thirsty. I took out a water tumbler for a drink, but found the water in the metal container had frozen, so I could not quench my thirst. I ate some biscuits and offered some to Hillary. Let us come to the points. Tenzing thought that a blue pencil was his daughter's prized possession. Then he got uh, he got out those flags. While Hillary took pictures, he planted them using his ice axe. When they left the Everest, the flags were laying flat against the summit. He was thirsty but could not quench his thirst as the water was frozen. या ठिकाणी परत एकदा निळ्या पेन्सिलचा उल्लेख झालेला आहे. ही पेन्सिल त्यांची मुलगी निमा हिचा अमूल्य ठेवा होता. नंतर तेन्झिंग यांच्या जवळ असलेले 4 ध्वज म्हणजे कोणते? एक ग्रेट ब्रिटनचा, त्यानंतर दुसरा युनायटेड नेशन्सचा, तिसरा नेपाळचा आणि चौथा भारताचा. एका दोरीला लावून हे 4 ध्वज एका दोरीला लावून जगाच्या सर्वोच्च शिखरावर उभे राहतात. हिलरी त्याचे फोटोज काढतात आणि तो फोटो या पार्ट मध्ये मी दाखवलेला आहे, पहिल्या पार्ट मध्ये दाखवलेला आहे. सॉरी. हा प्रसंग या दोघांच्याही दृष्टीने अभिमानाचा होता, कारण ही जी काही घटना होती हे मानवी इतिहासातील एव्हरेस्ट पर्वत शिखरावर असणार हे पहिलं पाऊल होतं. त्यानंतर हे शेवटच्या पॅराग्राफ मध्ये त्यांना तहान लागते, पण त्या मेटल कंटेनर मध्ये पाण्याचं बर्फ झालेला आहे. सो ते बिस्किट खातात आणि हिलरी यांना सुद्धा ते देतात. Let us come to the 7th slide. Let me read the text first. Remembering his great friend Lambert. I was wearing a red scarf which my great friend Lambert, leader of the 1952 Swiss expedition, had given me last year. It was just a year ago, on May 28th, when we were standing at 28,215 feet, that he gave me the scarf. I wore it all the way up to the mountain from Darjeeling. As I stood at the top, I remembered him and felt that he was with me. I felt absolutely fit at the summit. My mind was absolutely clear. I did not feel tired. I felt exhilarated. It was a very clear sensation. See, here, let me read the points first and then explain. The red scarf was given to him by his great friend Lambert. Lambert was the leader of the 1952 Swiss expedition. Then Tenzing thought that wearing the red scarf all the way, his friend Lambert was with him all the way, memory of his friend. Here the writer refers to the red scarf he was wearing. It was given to him by his friend Lambert. Lambert was the leader of the 6th expedition 1952. It was very nice to see that Tenzing thought wearing the red scarf all the way, he takes it that his friend Lambert was with him all the way. It seems that Tenzing never forgets his friend. येथे लेखक रेड स्कार्फचा उल्लेख करतात. त्यांना हा स्कार्फ त्यांचे मित्र लॅम्बर्ट यांनी दिलेला आहे. लॅम्बर्ट हे 1952 साली स्विस एक्सपिडिशन म्हणजे बरोबर 1 वर्ष अगोदर आणि 1 दिवस अगोदर 1 वर्ष 1 दिवस अगोदर 28,215 फुटावर समुद्र सपाटीपासून असलेल्या ह्या फुटावर लॅम्बर्ट होते त्यांच्यासोबत आणि त्यावेळेला त्यांनी तो स्कार्फ दिलेला होता. या स्कार्फच्या रूपाने त्यांना त्यांचा मित्र सतत जवळ असल्याचा भास होत होता. म्हणजे लेखकाला आपल्या मित्राबद्दलचं प्रेम, आपल्या मित्राची आठवण इथं सुद्धा जगाच्या सर्वोच्च पर्वत शिखरावर सुद्धा आपल्या मित्राची आठवण येते. म्हणजे मैत्रीसाठी जागणारा हा माणूस होता हे आपल्याला इथं दिसून येतं. Pure taste. Let me read the text first. Below all the hills and mountains look like gods and goddesses to me. The plains below looked like so many broken pieces of map. Here for the second time, we see how Tenzing was believer of God. Here also, it seems that he is the believer of the world, that the world is one. So many broken pieces of man. Here, the writer seems to be the citizen of the world. अगदी दुसऱ्यांदा तेनसिंग यांचा परमेश्वराप्रती असलेला विश्वास इथे दिसून येतो. आणि दुसरं सर्वात म्हणजे हे जग संपूर्ण एक आहे आणि म्हणून ते म्हणतात की ह्या उंच पर्वत शिखरावर असताना मला नकाशाचे तुकडे तुकडे दिसतात. म्हणजे हे तुकडे मानवाने केलेल्या संपूर्ण जग एक आहे अशी त्यांची ती भावना होती. आणि या दृष्टीनं या विविध देशांचे नकाशे किती अर्थहीन आहेत हे ते सांगतात. Now description of Mount Everest, the roof of the world. Slide number 9. Let me read the text first. 2 or 3 people could stand there on the roof of the world if you cut ice. 20 or 30 feet below the top, there was enough flat square for 2 people to sleep. You could pitch one tent there. The summit is flat on one side and steep on the other. There is snow on the northern side, rocks on the south and east, and snowy rock on the west. We stayed on the top a little more than 15 minutes. We were lucky that there was no gale, or it would have swept us off. My next thought was how to get down safely. Let me come to the point. Only 2 or 3 people could stand there. 30 feet below, there were enough flat square for 2 people. Here, from all sides, Everest has been described. It is highlighted. The summit is flat on one side, steep on the other, snow on the northern side, rocks on the south and east, snowy rocks on the west. Here they stayed for 15 minutes only. They were lucky that there was no strong wind, so they were safe there. See, इथे या स्लाइड मध्ये तेन्झिंग यांनी एव्हरेस्टचे वर्णन केलेले आहे. एव्हरेस्टवर फक्त 2 किंवा 3 लोक उभे राहू शकतात, पण इथे बर्फ साफ करणं आवश्यक आहे. इथून 30 फूट खाली लोक झोपू शकतात. किती? 2 लोक झोपू शकतात. म्हणजे तिथे टेंट बनवता येऊ शकते, तेवढी जागा आहे. हे पर्वत शिखर एका बाजूला सपाट आहे तर दुसऱ्या बाजूला खोल आहे. उत्तरेकडे ते बर्फाळ आहे तर दक्षिणेकडे खडकाळ आहे. पश्चिमेकडे मिश्र म्हणजे खडकाळ आणि बर्फाळ आहे. या दोन्ही या ठिकाणी या पर्वत शिखरावर हे दोघे जण म्हणजे एडमंड हिलरी आणि शेर्पा तेन्झिंग हे 15 मिनिटं फक्त थांबतात. सगळा जो काही अट्टाहास आहे पर्वतावर पहिलं पाऊल टाकायचा, फक्त 15 मिनिटं ते तिथे थांबतात आणि परतीचा प्रवास लगेच सुरू होतो. म्हणजे किती खडतर आहे पाय, एवढ्या श्रमानं ते सगळं वरती चढायचं आणि 15 मिनिटं केवळ ते थांबायचं आणि परत परतीच्या प्रवासाचा विचार करायचा. आणि 15 मिनिटात, या 15 मिनिटात देव त्यांच्या पाठीशी असतो. बिकॉज देर वॉज नो गेल, स्ट्रॉंग विंड. असा दोघे मानव असा मस्तपैकी वादळ झालं की कुठल्या कुठं जाते, पण परमेश्वर त्यांच्या सतत पाठीशी असतो. आणि या या दोघांची परमेश्वरावर अगाध निष्ठा असते, विश्वास असतो आणि परमेश्वर त्यांच्या पाठीशी असतो. बिकॉज देर वॉज नो गेल when they were there. See, आता descent from the summit, thanks to God. Slide number 10. Let me read the text first. On the descent from the summit, I was walking behind Hillary. I was following him and holding rope tightly, and my determination was to make sure he descended safely. I must say that the climb down was more difficult and dangerous than the climb up. If you slip down, you would go into uh, Kanshang glacier and there would be no trace left of you. More caution needed. Of course, it took less time climbing down, but you needed more caution. When I reached Camp 9, my first thought was that, thank God, we have been spared an accident. And up, if up to now there have been no accidents, I hope there will be none in future. I had always prayed to God and He had saved me. Let me come to the point. Tenzing says that climb down is more difficult and dangerous. How? It is highlighted from the text. Climb down was more difficult and dangerous than climb. If you slip down, you would go into Kanshan glacier and there would be no trace left of you. After reaching the camp 9, he thanked God again to the Almighty God for sparing them from the accident. आता परतीचा प्रवास सुरू झाला. तेंजिंग म्हणतात की परतीचा प्रवास हा एकदम धोकादायक असतो. कॅम्प 9 ला पोहोचतात तेंजिंग पुन्हा परमेश्वराचे आभार मानतात. त्यांची अशी धारणा आहे की सर्व शक्तिमान परमेश्वराने अपघातापासून त्यांना वाचवलेलं आहे. Now let us come to the last slide, that is slide number 11. Happy end, joy of drinking kerosene smell tea. Let me read the text. At Camp 9, Hillary and I were in no mood for any talking. We just attended our own things. We stayed there about half an hour. We boiled some snow to make lemon water and drank it. When we left, we took only our sleeping bags and left everything else behind in the tent. From Camp 9 to Camp 8, where we spent the night, was an easier job. Just above Camp 8, where the other could see us, I raised my arm with my thumbs up. CWF, noise, add, wink, uh, WG, Lowe saw us and their faces flushed with joy. In this way, I was able to tell them of our success. As we got nearer to Camp 8, Lowe came to meet came to meet us and came up about 300 feet with tea and coffee. Another 50 feet down, we met Noisy, who brought us more tea. This tea smelled kerosene. Apparently, it had been made in a hurry, and somewhat some kerosene got into the welcome cup. But I thought since the gentleman had taken so much trouble to bring it, I was going to enjoy it, whatever the smell. After reaching uh, 8 camp, Nice and Loe saw them and brought them tea and coffee up about 300 feet. Again, another 50 feet uh, down, Nossi brought more tea, but it was made with kerosene. But both of them drank it pleasantly. पाठाच्या शेवटी येथे कॅम्प 9 वर आल्यानंतर ते दोघेही आपापल्या साहित्याची बांधाबांध करतात. कोणी कोणाशी बोलत नाही. दोघेच असतात ते. उरलेले त्यांचे सहकारी कॅम्प 8 ला त्यांना त्यांनी त्यांना निरोप दिलेला असतो. जेव्हा ते कॅम्प 8 वर येतात तेव्हा नॉईस ॲड लॉवे त्यांना पाहतो आणि केवळ हातानेच तेंजिंग सांगतात की त्यांची मोहीम यशस्वी झालेली आहे. आणि त्या लॉवे त्यांच्यासाठी चहा आणतो. त्यानं तो चहा 300 फुटावर आणलेला असतो. परत खाली 50 फुटावर तो आणखीन एक चहा आणतो. पण या चहाला रॉकेलचा वास आलेला असतो. पण तोही चहा ते दोघे आनंदाने पितात. खरंच यशाचा सुगंध काही औरच असतो. धन्यवाद.